Terrorform podcast. I'm Josh.
I'm Kristen.
I'm Erin.
This is Donnie.
And we're here to make the world a creepier place.
All right, y'all. The time has come for Aliens Part 2. As we said last time, we had a lot of material to cover, and it has come around to my turn again. So we're going to hop on that alien train right now. Choo, choo. I'm going to read a famous UFO incident from someone named Travis Walton. You may have heard of this. I believe it was Brad who wrote in a UFO story on our last episode who suggested I look into this case. I am reading this from Wikipedia. The Travis Walton UFO incident was an alleged alien abduction of American forestry worker Travis Walton by a UFO on November 5th, 1975, while he was working in the Apache Sitgreaves National Forest near Snowflake, Arizona. Walton was missing for 5 days and 6 hours. After days of searching with scent dogs and helicopters, Walton says he reappeared by the side of the road near Heber, Arizona. Or Heber, one of those.
Huber,
Arizona.
No, Heber.
Herber. No, there's no R. Never mind. The Walton case received mainstream publicity and remains one of the best-known alien abduction stories, while scientific skeptics consider it a hoax. In 1978, Walton wrote a book about his purported abduction titled The Walton Experience, which was adapted into the 1993 film Fire in the Sky. According to Walton and a number of other members from the logging crew, on November 5th, 1975, he was working with the timber stand improvement crew in the Apache Sitgreaves National Forest while riding in a truck with 6 of his co-workers. They allegedly encountered a saucer-shaped object hovering over the ground approximately 110 feet away, making a high-pitched buzz. Walton claims that after he left the truck and approached the object, a beam of light suddenly appeared from the craft and knocked him unconscious. The other 6 men were frightened and supposedly drove away. Dang, they just ditched him? Walton claimed that he awoke in a hospital-like room, being observed by 3 short, bald creatures. He claimed that he fought with them until a human wearing a helmet led Walton to another room, where he blacked out as 3 other humans put a clear plastic mask over his face. Walton has claimed he remembers nothing else until he found himself walking along a highway 5 days later with the flying saucer departing from above him.
Spooky.
Mm.
Yeah.
something's in the watering hole.
Yeah.
In
We
old
just-
Arizona.
We just watched a video on this guy.
Yeah, we did.
Did
Do you
y'all?
remember? Yeah, we did.
Oh, well,
Oh.
give us some insight. Is there anything else that Wikipedia didn't have? That y'all remember?
They mentioned that some government agency, maybe like the FBI or something,
Men in Black.
they came to investigate the site. I don't know if it's true since it wasn't in that story, but they said they
Well, it was
came out with
Wikipedia.
the Geiger. Oh, well, yeah. They came out with the Geiger counter thing, the radiation thing that picks up radiation levels. And they went through the whole area where they said he went missing, if this is the same guy.
It is.
And they didn't have any spikes on the radiation meter. Well, I think the guys that were working with him left their equipment there or whatever.
His hard hat.
The hard hat and whatnot. And they checked his hard hat and it set off the Geiger counter. I think that's how you say it. So there was radiation on his hard hat, and
Oh, wow.
so I don't know what that means extraterrestrial wise, but
It means the beam is radioactive.
could be.
Yeah.
They could be. Their spaceships could be radioactive.
Yeah.
Ran.
Because after he disappeared, all his friends went to the police to report it, but they were all freaking out. And they admitted to seeing a UFO, but of course the police aren't buying it. So they suspect him of possibly murdering him. So that's why they went out to go search for him. And then there was these like Men in Black FBI people. And then once they tested the hard hat and it went off, one of the guys, the suspects, went to go speak to the police about it. And the cop said that they were a part of them. And that they were gone by the time he went to go tell the police.
What the heck?
So they must have heard about it and went to go find if there's any Area 51 kind of evidence that they could use.
Yeah.
A lot of alien stories seem to have like government involvement.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
What's-
immediate.
Why are they trying to hide it so much?
What's going on there?
Yeah.
But I don't know about y'all, but like alien abductions seem like one of the most terrifying things that could happen to you. You just like wake up in a hospital like environment with creatures hovering over you,
Different
poking and
species.
prodding.
I think it'd be kind of cool.
No, it sounds horrifying. What if they like do the whole anesthesia thing like that one episode we talked about?
Oh, that
But you can
Where-
feel it and
yeah, you
remember
can
it.
feel it.
Yeah, that was part 1, aliens.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that was the one.
Yeah.
Part 1 aliens.
I guess
Talk about
if
anesthesia.
If it's hurting, then yeah. But if I feel like they would have some sort of numbing agent better than us. So I feel like.
But that doesn't work for me because they're right here.
Yeah.
Same reason I can remember seeing them.
UFO. But also, what makes this abduction story, I guess, credible? All the guys that were
Oh yeah.
deemed as suspects ended up taking a lie detector test, and they all passed, and all told the same story.
Well, 4 out of the 5 guys came back.
Passed.
Yeah, past where there wasn't anything like that they were lying about. But the 5th guy, I believe, was inconclusive.
Yeah.
But it's still 4 out of 5 guys passed. You know, so that's kind of like where the credibility comes in at.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
so many of them.
And inconclusive doesn't necessarily mean it failed either. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was just nervous.
yeah.
Popped a bunch of pillies before he sat in that chair. Calmed him down.
But he's alive, and they found him, and they didn't get charged for murder.
So, one of the topics that we wanted to look back on from the first episode was about how 2020 the government kind of whispered that aliens, might just exist. And so we said we were going to look further into that. So I found an article. All right, so this is from USA Today, so you know it's real.
Yeah.
In 2020, anything's possible. New government intelligence might prove alien life is too. And let's face it, if they're coming, 2020 is the perfect year for them to arrive, since it has piled one unlikely event on top of another. I'm not saying that it's aliens, but it's aliens. That's the tagline of the famous internet meme based on
Giorgio Sicolo.
History Channel show. I know what the guy looks like. I just can't say his
The
name.
meme.
Yeah. Alien.
Sicolo?
Sucralose.
It's probably Greek.
yeah. Giorgio Tsoukalos. But now it seems to be the official United States government's line, too. Just this past week came the latest slow roll disclosure about UFOs and aliens in the New York Times, which, in the words of tech blog Gizmodo, casually drops another story about how aliens are probably real. There are even reports that the Pentagon has obtained vehicles or parts of vehicles not made on this Earth, though former Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid was either misquoted confirming the story or walked back his comments to that effect later. Which again goes back to, why are they always trying to hide it?
Panic.
Mass
Well, that's what everybody
hysteria.
says, mass hysteria,
That's what they
but
always try to say, yeah.
Because then there would be no reason for us not to overthrow the government. And they don't want that. So they want to keep us
Donnie,
all
hush.
chill.
Which we don't want to do at all. I'm old enough to remember when speculation about UFOs was limited to the fringe and when respectable figures and publications wouldn't touch it. But a few months ago, the Navy released UFO videos, and since then, more stories keep appearing, suggesting at the very least that the United States government is taking the possibility of aliens visiting Earth a lot more seriously than has been the case in the past. Well, maybe there's something here, and maybe there's not. It wouldn't shock me to find that our vast universe harbors other intelligent life, nor would it surprise me to find that just because we don't know how to travel between the stars yet, that others haven't figured it out. Gonna scroll down a little further here, see if there's anything else interesting in here. Because I swear there was this one part that scared me when I was looking over this earlier.
You should have highlighted the.
I know, I just linked the article. Basically, there was a part that someone who's an expert in the field or whatever said that if aliens were to invade, that
We wouldn't stand a chance.
something along those lines,
Heck no.
that they would be looking for violence or something like that, because basically the only aliens that would be interested in us are ones that could survive on our planet, so another oxygen based planet, and that they would look at us probably as prey, and that they would be predators, and probably a lot better at it than we are.
Probably, if they made it to our planet. I mean,
Yeah.
we're screwed.
Or they could be peace-loving aliens who just
Doubt
want
it.
to spread their technology and help
Or-
other planets.
Well,
I doubt that.
with that, it could be like the colonizers. They come to help the natives, but you saw how that turned out.
They just spread their diseases and kill 80% of our population.
And take over their property, their land.
Oh, look, I found that part.
Oh,
We're
there
done
you go.
after the discussion.
Greg Easterbrook noted in The Atlantic a while back in 1988 something that's troubling. His quote is, "The most disquieting aspect of natural selection as observed on Earth is that it channels intellect to predators. Most bright animals are carnivores. Stalking requires tactics, pattern recognition, and, for social animals, coordinated action, all incubators of brain power and violence.
And violence.
We can, of course, hope that a sufficiently advanced alien civilization might have evolved past violence, though the evidence that our civilization is doing so is not entirely compelling." Probably, and this is end quote, by the way, probably the best we can hope for if aliens are visiting Earth is that they are studying us, and a lot of the encounters may be explained by what some of my science fiction writer friends call the graduate-student hypothesis. We are being studied, but as on Earth, the big shot scientists leave most of the grubby field work to grad students who occasionally get bored or drunk and decide to have a little fun spooking the natives. Which lines up with Erin saying, "Party aliens."
All of the alien abductions and terrorizing people is just party aliens.
Yeah.
Like teenagers or something. Yeah.
They're doing a science project.
Heck yeah. They gotta get that thesis going.
That kind of lightens it a little bit, even though it's still traumatizing. It's kind of funny.
Hopefully that's the case.
Because what would they look like?
Yeah.
They're probably very frightening.
Yeah. Every description I've ever heard has been frightening, even though they're all different. So.
Well,
Uncanny.
I guess I can move on to my
What you found?
research.
Please do so.
So, I know we mentioned the green lights in the sky, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And we went over how I think asteroids or whatever can become that color when they're burning up in the atmosphere, depending on what they're made out of.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I found on the wiki there's something called green fireballs.
Hey, I found that too.
They are a type of unidentified flying object, which is a UFO that has been reported since the early 1950s. And they're primarily The early sightings are primarily in the southwestern United States, particularly New Mexico. Although some ufologists and ufology organizations
Those
consider
exist.
green fireballs to be of artificial extraterrestrial origin, mainstream non-pseudoscientific explanations have been provided, including natural bolides. And then
Never heard of them.
just some of the non-pseudo-scientific explanations include sequelae of atomic weapon tests, including clouds of nuclear fallout, lunar material
We're
ejected.
probably going to see a lot of that soon.
Lunar material ejected from meteor impacts on the moon's surface, which is kind of, the same. And aircraft associated with secret military projects.
So, I mean, The
So
Simpsons predicted something again.
It could
So-
be just the asteroids burning up. Just depends what
Right.
material they're made out of.
Yeah.
Could be a military.
I even looked up, because I was reading that same thing, and I was thinking of someone who had sent a thing. I think it was Josh Arnold sent in the thing about the meteor going in a zigzag, or the UFO going in a zigzag. We're like, could that be a meteor going zigzag? And if you look that up, there's other people who have seen that, and then there's guesses about how a meteor might do that, but nothing's for sure. And there is that is also mentioned a lot within the alien subreddits out there.
Hey Josh, do you remember what year it was when you moved in with Albert and saw this? Saw yours.
I want to say 2010-ish.
Yeah, it'd either be 2010 or 2011.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I looked up some sightings for the area, and there's two different ones that I found. And one's from 2012, one's from 2013, so it was probably not the same thing.
How long was it? Less than a year, or was it a whole year? It was less than a year. Oh, okay. Shoot.
So this is in that area.
Still, this could line up with Andy's story.
Yeah,
Because
because
Andy wasn't sure the exact time, but she said anywhere from 2010 to 2013. So.
Or your mom's.
Or
The
your mom's.
chicken.
Yeah.
And they never found anyone on.
So there's a lot
online or
of
on the radio.
alien activity between 2010 and
Yeah,
2013.
really.
So this guy's
Well, I mean,
that's where we lived before. It's not where we are now.
I think the cat's out of the bag with that one, though.
no, it's not yet, not yet.
What's your favorite scary
I guess we
movie?
could just beep it or something. I don't know.
Wait, because didn't we mention that with the fair?
We mentioned fairgrounds, but we
Oh,
didn't say.
I don't think we even
County.
said anything. But this guy wrote in on this UFO stalker website. It's the detailed description is: my brother and I had just sat on the bench in my front yard last night, July 26, 2012, around 9 p.m. After just a few minutes, we happened to both see a light appear and go out towards the east. I live in Wesley, Texas, and we were facing east toward Houston. It seemed to be over Chapel Hill, maybe closer. We continued to watch, but did not see it again. The light was only visible for about a second or two, so we were fortunate to spot it. The light was amber colored or a light orange and appeared to be sweeping the underside of the object. I decided to see if my front gate security DVR picked it up, and indeed it did. Barely. The attached WMV shows the light appear, so he caught it on camera. And then he says the timestamp is wrong in the video. The time was actually around 9:09 p.m. on July 26. It was just about due east from my house in Wesley, so it was over southeast Brenham, Bluebonnet Hill subdivision, or Chapel Hill. I don't believe it was any further away than that. This is the one from 2013. This is my fourth sighting in the same area in the last 3 years, so that goes to 2010.
Ah.
I was coming home from a hunting trip eastbound on 290 at 36. I was looking for them. I have seen hovering, pulsating orbs in pairs of threes several times coming and going to my ranch coming from Houston, so I've been keeping an eye out. I saw 2 orbs, one close and bright, just south of the Walmart. The other was lower and further away. The second was lower than the CLLC one, lower than the first one. I pulled into the left turn lane and got my phone. I was too slow. By the time I got my camera up, the first
Did you have to burp?
yeah, it wouldn't come out. The first orb pulsated and went super bright, then out. Where the orb was now hovered a black triangle with a light on each point. It moved effortlessly east to west, directly over me and gone. I was able to catch 3 images of the second stationary one. I got my pics in traffic behind me, made me move on. This was the 4th or 5th time I have seen them. October 12th, I saw 3 orbs. One flashed out in a triangle, flew directly over my farmhouse, helicopter altitude, but totally silent. I have seen them over the Walmart 3 times before. The first time
that Walmart.
I was in wonder. The second, third, and on, I felt extreme curiosity and a drive to know what I was looking at. No fear or negative feelings.
Seems that triangles are a common thing with alien sightings too, or UFO sightings.
And a triangle or a saucer.
Yeah.
And those are pretty descriptive.
Yeah.
Credible?
Maybe.
Maybe. Interesting.
Let's see.
That thing hit my ear, boy. Trading places.
I also looked up the government testing EMPs on the public. I couldn't find anything, so it's probably not declassified yet.
But it's real.
It's gotta be. They have to.
Because remember when we hung out at Jacob's house nearly 2 years ago? Before we went to go to the beach? And we were drinking, so you got pee a lot. So I went to go pee in the grass by the camper, and I saw a burning, shooting star looking thing, but it lasted so long. And I was like, oh my god, it's an alien. You're drinking. But it turned out that multiple people have seen it, and they think it's it was either some kind of Russian missile thing or, I don't know, something military related, I think, or could be some satellite. I don't remember. It's nearly 2 years ago.
Debris burning up.
Yeah.
So I asked my mom about any UFO type sightings they've had, and she told me that her and my dad, she's probably gonna get mad at me because she always gets on to me saying that I don't tell it fully or whatnot. Correctly, and I need to write literally everything that comes out of her mouth down, but she talks 100 miles an hour. So
She wants it word for word.
Trying to type as fast as I can. I'm skipping words, trying to keep up with where she's
Next
going.
time you should just
Tell her-
voice recorder.
Voice
just
record it and play it.
Okay, so she said her and my dad saw something in the sky at night glowing, going across the sky, but they were told it was a satellite that broke loose in space. No, they were told it was a satellite that broke off and was going through the sky, and that multiple people saw it. It was something that broke loose in space, red glow, sparkly, like you could touch it but couldn't because it was so far away.
That was word for word for what she said.
So she said it looked close, but then
Far
it wasn't
away.
close.
Yeah, she said it looked like you couldn't touch it, but of course it was too far away. It was sparkly and red.
I guess she could really see details or something, which made it seem like it was closer than it was.
I guess so.
I will go. Well, that's kind of how my mom explained it too to me. Whatever it was kind of sparkly, and I think she said it was pretty low, and she almost you could touch it, but then she wasn't exactly sure how far up it was.
Interesting.
And then she said that there was something hovering by the window that was an oblong shape. And then she said that in the late 80s, early 90s, worldwide orange sparkly. That's all I got from that. So apparently something orange and sparkly in the late 80s, early 90s. That
She gonna get on to you. She's like, boy, that is so off.
That was seen worldwide, and I could probably search it up and find it, but I did try and I couldn't find anything.
Wasn't there a meteor that
I know there was
landed?
Halley's Comet, but that was like in the late 90s,
Oh, okay.
I believe. Like later 90s? I don't know. I don't know. So then she also said that one time they were driving and a white ball came out of the sky and almost hit the truck, then bounced back up and went into the sky. And that was the last thing I got from her.
Wait, so that one you said like there's an oblong shape hovering outside the window, like her window, like
Yeah.
at her house?
Yeah, at the house.
Like it was in their yard, basically?
Well, she just said it was like outside the window, so I don't know if it was like.
She was just
outright
looking out the
outside.
window?
Yeah, I don't know
Or
if it was
which
right.
window it was.
It's just a little too close for comfort.
Yeah, really. Haley's Comet.
I just saw
Haley's Comet.
Oh,
Yeah, I was
I
thinking that
guess
too.
it could have been Haley's Comet because it says the last time it was seen was 1986.
Yeah.
So that could have been.
What does it look like when it's in... I'm asking all these questions. You just found that information.
Answer, Donnie.
Come on.
Colors Haley's
What
Comet.
color?
Red.
Red.
Oh.
A preliminary analysis of the first spectroscopic observations of Haley's Comet indicates that the surface of the comet's icy body is very red in color.
Red rum. Red rum. Red rum.
Red rum. Red rum. Red rum. Red rum. Come and play with this, Donnie.
Just to go over a couple things with Redheads to confirm my suspicions. They do need about 20% more anesthesia to be sedated. So I think the aliens were about 20% short. They also need more local topical anesthetics such as lidocaine or novocaine, which is why many redheads have a fear of dentists. I didn't know that.
Which he does.
Terrified.
Why would you scared for?
Because it hurts, boy. 'Cause they don't be giving me enough stuff. Like, we numbed you. I'm like, they need lower doses of pain anal
Off the booty hole.
Yeah, you
Y'all
gotta
like
put-
it in the rectum.
They need less anal, guys.
Oh, God.
They easily detect changes in hot and cold temperatures. Mm-hmm. She can attest to that. And they may be less sensitive to electric shock, needle pricks, and stinging pain on the skin.
I don't know. You're always talking about
So
something bitchy
now-
and your skin's always irritated.
So now we're gonna have an off episode of just testing these theories on Josh.
Live stream. Look, if we can hit 100 followers, okay,
Yes, on Facebook.
on Facebook, then we will live stream and we will, no, I'm not committing to that. Are you insane?
No, we need.
I'll do anal on air. No.
Oh,
100 likes on Facebook. We'll probe.
We'll probe Josh. We'll do a test probe on me, and then we'll try to find out like how the aliens like what does that benefit them? That's something we need to look up. Why do aliens like probing people?
They're freaky.
That was one thing that somebody was saying, that if aliens are like a higher life form, what benefit would they have from probing humans? You know, 'cause
Yeah.
just for fun.
So they're like, well, they
Drunk
probably
alien.
don't abduct humans and probe them or whatever.
You know, just to learn more about the universe and other living organisms.
Yeah, but you
Duh.
would think
They
that they
just
would have
messing with
came
us.
from something like us. You know, maybe from some sort of world war and
Maybe they're a germ.
Holocaust, and all the radioactivity either made some ghouls and some have big brains.
This isn't Fallout.
Yeah, you NPC.
Yeah.
Oh, lagging over there.
Should we look over any YouTube comments?
Go on ahead.
Yeah, go on.
If we got them,
Boom, boom, boom.
anybody commenting, make
Yeah,
sure
I
you
know.
go over.
I know we missed some from last video.
Anybody watching this, go
Hello.
ahead and scroll down on the YouTube comments. Sorry, audio listeners, this is for our visual listeners only because you don't have the comment section, I don't think. But go ahead, scroll down just like 1 or 2 scrolls until you reach the thing that says comment ... and then go ahead and type something out so we can have some interaction with y'all.
Or if you would like your story to be featured on our podcast, please email us.
At the Terrorform podcast at gmail.com.
Which reminds me, we have a story that someone actually sent into the email.
Oh yeah, I
And,
forgot.
and I forgot to read it last time, but now we can read it this time. But we have a comment on the cold touch from Michelle Sanchez. She says she's commenting on Kristen's haunted house she grew up in. She says the upstairs bedroom and the stairs freaked me out. I always felt something behind me to the point I always refused to look back. Also, the room at the end of the hall scared the hell out of me.
Yeah, well, that's the room I said that I thought that y'all had found bones in the closet, so that would make sense. But I also felt the same way about the upstairs and the stairway.
It's
I did
like,
not like it.
all the walkways are narrow, so it really like kind of like boxes you in, makes you feel paranoid too.
Yeah.
So that house is
Spooky.
We have a comment from Prophet Giratina.
Oh.
That person.
On the Woman in White episode. And he says, I don't know why, but the Woman in White reminds me of the following. Look up ghost weddings. It's not what you think. Does anyone want to look up ghost weddings? Should we give them the satisfaction?
You can't get me
Is
twice.
that an R34?
Huh?
Is that an R34?
What?
Don't worry about it.
someone else.
Chinese ghost marriage?
What is it?
Ghost weddings. Is that what it is?
I mean, it kind of probably is the same thing.
If this is what he's talking about, it says in Chinese tradition, a ghost marriage is a marriage in which one or both parties are deceased. Other forms of ghost marriages are practiced worldwide, notably in France since 1959.
Yeah, I guess that's why he's thinking like Woman in White. It reminds him of like getting married after you already did.
Yeah.
So
it
what's
says,
the...
Do what?
Go on.
I was just gonna say it's called a posthumous marriage.
Posthumous.
And that is nuptials.
Nuptials.
Nuptials in which one or both members of the... I've heard these words, but I've never
Seen them?
in which one or both members of the couple are dead is an established practice in China, Japan, Sudan, France, and even the United States among members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So if you want to perform necrophilia, go ahead and transfer over to some of these cultures, maybe.
Oh, very nice.
Because it says one or both parties.
One or
both.
yeah.
So if you're into some dead people, maybe you won't be as shamed as you thought.
Disgusting.
Disgusting. Have y'all seen that TikTok?
Yes.
Oh.
With the little boy milking the cow.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It's a penis.
It's a penis.
Disgusting.
That's a penis. Misty, Kristen's sister, commented on the Woman in White episode as well and says, people who aren't watching via YouTube are missing out. Me over here making Steve ask me if I'm okay because I'm cracking up trying to figure out if Donnie has 2 different cups or is he twisting it around every time he takes a drink.
Heck yeah.
I did the same thing when I was editing the video. I was like, does he have 2 cups?
I'm glad people are noticing.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Christopher Holt says on our chicken tender poltergeist trailer.
Stay tuned. Wait, it's going to be out already.
It'll be out by the time y'all see this.
Yeah.
Y'all make a guy crack up and give me nightmares all at the same time. Can't wait for the vid to drop. Thank you, Chris. That's our goal.
Main
there.
supporter.
Yeah, I can't leave y'all too much in despair.
Yeah.
No.
Gotta
Yeah,
lighten
tickle you a
things
little
up.
bit.
Can't have that much
But
suspense on y'all.
No.
But show. And then I guess let's go on over to that email. Go on over to the email. Checking out a book, check it in, check it out. Gonna say hi to the Milky
Dictionary.
Checking out a book, check it in, check it out. This is an email from Latricia McKeska. Latricia.
Jay.
Trissy. This from Trissy. She says, hey y'all, the house I live in on beep was built in 1910. My kids swear it's haunted. I never experienced much of anything. I did see some shadows and did get up to investigate a couple of times, or noises thinking the kids had come by. This is the second time that I've lived in this house. The first time was back in 1993 to 96. So, I have always dismissed anything the kids said, mainly Chelsea, until one night I was home alone. It was still a duplex at this time. I had not opened it up to one big home. All of my kids had keys and would come and go as they pleased. I was in bed watching TV, and the bedroom door opened and closed, and then the bathroom door did the same. At this point, I didn't think anything of it. I saw them in my peripheral vision, and I kept waiting for them to come out because I had to go to the bathroom, and I was starting to get impatient. Finally, I went and I beat on the door, asking them, what the beep are you doing in there? No response. I pulled on the door, but it was locked. So I sat back on the bed, and I waited a little longer. I started getting pissed because I really had to go now. So I go back to the bathroom door and beat on it and tell them to at least unlock the door. Nothing. So I grab the doorknob and I'm getting ready to pull it, and I pull it and it opens. I almost hit myself with the door because I wasn't expecting it to open. I step in and I ask, what the heck are you doing? But no one is in there. I pull back the shower curtain because I figured they're hiding in there trying to scare me. Nothing. I open the bottom cabinet. Nothing. Then the top cabinet. Nothing. Now I'm starting to feel uneasy because the only window in there has been sealed up and plastered over, and only a small piece at the top is made to look like a small window. It does not open. I start getting scared because I know that someone went in there. I started going through the rest of the house, turning on all the lights. I was asking, who's there? Who's there? With no answer. I checked the doors, and they were both locked. Now I'm starting to get spooked. I call Chelsea, and I ask her if she was just in the house, and she says, nope. So I talk her into coming over and sitting with me because this grown-ass woman is now scared for the first time because a ghost. She still laughs because she thinks I should believe her now. That is the only time I truly got scared. Chelsea has many stories, especially in our house on Day Street.
On beep.
Them ghosts always tricking you into thinking they're your kids.
Boy,
We gotta get in contact with this Chelsea.
whoever that may be.
Whoever this will turn out to be.
Whoever this Chelsea is.
Yeah.
So make sure you email the Terrorform podcast at gmail.com. Send us in your stories.
Send your story. You can even send a voice memo, and we
Voice
may,
memos are
if
welcome.
it sounds okay, we'll play it, you know? Andy Law commented on a Facebook post of ours saying she has seen the woman in white at her work. She still gets chills thinking about it. I responded, said we need to get the details one day. She said anytime. So we need to contact Andy about that.
Well, I know I am supposed to go interview type style Kenny, her husband,
Right,
and his
that's right.
mother about some childhood home, I believe. So I guess I could get that when I go over there. I need to get with her on that when I can do that.
Yeah.
So that also means go ahead and head over to the Terrorform Podcast Facebook page. Give us a like, give us a
like.
follow, give us a
Yeah.
comment.
We're so
Comment.
close to 100.
We got very
Let's
close
So
break
close.
100 and
Come
we'll
on.
probe Josh.
for show. I will get probed live on air. We will live stream it by.
Instagram, any Instagram artist, the
Send in
Terrorform
your
Podcast
pictures.
Instagram. Erin has a drawing for this Alien Part 2 episode. You see that
Centipedal.
crawling down your block at night. What you gonna
Gonna eat you.
I don't know how I pulled it twice, but I pulled that off. Them nerves, by.
do? It's been done before, according to the government. Don't kill me.
Please don't,
I want to go out on my own terms.
Well, does that about wrap her up? Anyone have anything else?
Should I talk about the Stardust Ranch?
Oh yeah, Stardust Ranch.
Quick.
Ooh, Aliens
If anyone
Part
is
3.
On the market. If anyone's on the market for a house, go to Arizona. If you have $5 million and you want to buy, I think it's about 10-acre ranch. It's got aliens on it.
10 acres ain't a ranch.
Interested?
Well, it's called Stardust Ranch. And when I tried
They
looking
must
it
have sold
up,
it off or something.
I kept getting brothels.
Oh boy.
Might have to do some
But that's in
investigating.
Nevada, and I needed to look in Arizona. But this is the guy I mentioned in part 1 that killed these greys. And it turns out he claims that he has killed 18 of these greys with a samurai sword. And he says once he kills them,
Is there a
they
reason?
evaporate.
Is there a reason why he chose the samurai sword
knows?
specifically?
Yeah.
Who knows? He likes that close contact. Well, maybe he doesn't want to like destroy his house with a gun because they're like inside his house, so he might be
Makes
putting
sense.
holes in the wall.
I'd have all sorts of holes in my wall. Yep, that was this one. That
Yeah.
was this one. He came over running this way. I blasted.
I'd be like, "No, this boy just crazy." He's putting holes.
His house.
But yeah, it's apparently a horse ranch where like they rescue horses. But
Where was this located?
Arizona.
So that's the same as Walton,
Yeah.
the abduction thing.
I
The
also
West.
looked it up, and it has oceanfront property.
Shut up.
Does it really?
Josh is interested.
I'm interested in that.
And this dude claims, or his wife says, it touches her
Touches her.
inappropriately.
Oh, the alien?
Yeah, the
They're known to
Greys.
do
Or
that.
doppelganger.
Well, there's apparently little gray men at this place, and he kills them.
Because isn't that their pure form?
Oh yeah, the doppelgangers are gray. Remember?
Yeah.
But are
that's
they
right.
little?
No,
Are they cosmic?
maybe.
Possibly.
Yeah. But I think that's enough on the Stardust Ranch.
If you're interested,
They
$5
got a
million.
pool. $5 million. They got a pool.
Cool, Chris.
They've got a pool.
5 million.
They don't have an ocean, but they have a
Million.
pool.
Next
And
best thing.
aliens. If you're lonely, they might cuddle up with you.
Yeah. Ask nice.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Always
well,
consent.
I guess if nobody else has anything,
No.
No.
guess all y'all stay spooky out there. You hear?
Stay spooky. Bye.
Stay spooky.
Stay spook.
Bye.
Spooky.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Cut that.
Everyone's gonna stay. You sounded so like scared. She's being held hostage.
That's making the final.